the symbol, they will have solid circles on the number line. So if it's equal to 3, you put a solid dot on 3, solid dot on 3. If it doesn't have that little bar and it's not equal to 3, you will just put like an open circle on 3. So it's not part of the shading, so it's open, but you need that initial starting point. Okay, and then the shading goes with the symbol. Now, if the variable is on the left side, which is how it should be written, the symbol kind of points to where you're shading. So in this first one here, this is read from left to right, that x is greater than or equal to 3. So equal is solid circle, greater than 3, you shade to everything to the right. Okay, in this next one here, this says x is greater than 3, so you have that open circle and you are shading everything to the right. So the only difference between this answer and this answer is that here 3 is part of the answer and here 3 is not part of the answer. Okay, and the next one, this one here, you have x is less than or equal to 3, so that is a closed circle on the 3, less than shades to the left. And then this last one, x is less than 3, is an open circle shaded to the left. In my next examples, again, just make sure you guys are paying attention to the inequality symbol. So for number 1, that is a less than or equal to symbol. So equal to means the dot on the 9 will be closed, and less than means you would be shading to the left. Number 2, there is no equal to symbol, so you need an open circle on the -7, and greater than means you would be shading everything to the right of -7. Okay, in the next part, be very careful with inequalities because they should be read from left to right, just like we read a sentence. So if the variable is on the right side, then the inequality is actually backwards. So my advice to you is to flip it around so that you're reading it correctly because the arrow will be pointing in the wrong direction. So in number 3, I'm just going to take this inequality and I'm going to flip it around. I need to put the R on the left side and the -1 on the right side. Since my alligator opens up to the -1, when I rearrange it, it still needs to open up to the -1. So everything rearranges. So when I go to graph that, reading from left to right, it says R is less than or equal to -1. So I need a closed circle on -1, shading to the left because that's really a less than symbol according to my variable. Okay, number 4, if I'm going to rearrange this, C comes over here, 2 comes over here. The inequality opens up to the C, so I need to keep it opening up to the C. So this reads C is greater than 2. Open circle on 2, shading to the right. So what does it mean to solve? I need you guys to get the variable by itself. So that means that variable is very lonely. It needs to be the only thing on one side. Okay, so we are going to take a look at number 1. To get my variable by itself, I would have to add 5 to both sides to get rid of this -5. So then bring everything straight down. You can't be flip-flopping sides like we did with equations. So this will read x is less than or equal to 18, and that is my final answer. Okay, number 2, get the r by itself by getting rid of this 19. So I'm going to have to subtract 19 from both sides. So this will read r is greater than or equal to -3, and then I'm done. Number 3, the y is on the right side. So to get it by itself, I need to add 3 to both sides. Now again, bring everything straight down. Don't be flip-flopping your sides. My -4 is over here. My symbol will stay less than, and my y will stay on the right. Now, if you guys do problems in IXL, you can leave your answers like this in IXL, but I prefer you guys to write all of your answers with a variable on the left because that's how they appear in multiple choice. So flipping it around, this really says y is greater than -4. This would be the answer if it was multiple choice. Number 4, watch these double negative signs on this side. 2 negatives make a positive, so I'm just going to rewrite that real quick. To get C by itself, I need to get rid of this 10 by subtracting 10 from both sides. So this will be 13 is greater than C. Okay, now again, if this was multiple choice, the variable would need to be on the left. So if I flip this whole entire thing around, this is really going to say C is less than 13. This would be my final answer. This part is taking a look at solving by multiplying or dividing. So we need to talk about that real quick because this can be a little tricky. In an inequality, you're allowed to do anything to both sides. So I'm just going to take a look at some examples. If I took this first inequality and I multiplied both sides by 2, I would get 20 on this side, and then I would get 12 on this side. This is still a true statement. 20 is greater than 12. This is still true. If I divide both sides by 2, I will get 5 and 3. And if I keep the symbol facing the same way, this is still a true statement. 5 is greater than 3. This is still true. But now when I work with negative numbers, you guys are going to see a difference here. If I multiply both sides by -2, I will get -20 and -12. If I kept the symbol facing the same way, this would actually be a false statement because -20 is not greater than -12. It's less. So to make it a true statement, I have to flip the inequality to make it a true statement. So this inequality gets flipped. Okay. If I came over here and I divided both sides by -2 and I got a -5 and a -3, if I kept the symbol facing the same way, this again is a false statement. -5 is not greater than -3. So to make it a true statement, my inequality would have to flip and face the opposite direction. So that leads us to the rule. When multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you must flip the inequality symbol. Don't flip everything, just the symbol. We're going to take a look at some of those examples. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at example 1. To solve this, I would have to divide both sides by -5. Because I'm dividing by a negative, my x will stay here, but my inequality symbol will flip. It'll change from a greater than to a less than, which will give me a -55. And then this will be my final answer. In number 2, I'm dividing both sides by 8. Because I'm dividing by a positive number, the symbol does not need to flip. So this is going to stay a less than or equal to symbol, and then this will become a 2. This will be my final answer. In number 3, to get the variable by itself, the opposite of dividing by 7 is multiplying by 7. So this side will be a 14. My symbol will stay the same direction because I didn't multiply or divide by a negative number, but I'm going to rearrange this whole thing so that my variable is on the left. So this will read b is less than or equal to 14 as my final answer. Real quick, because these are the ones that people get confused on. So number 4, I need to get my variable by itself by subtracting the 5 from both sides. So x is going to be greater than -2. The symbol does not change because I was adding or subtracting. Number 5, I need to get rid of the 5, not by subtraction, but by division. So be careful with that. X will be greater than 4. Number 6, I need to get rid of the -2 by division because the -2 and the y are being multiplied by each other. Now, because I divided by a negative number, yes, this inequality symbol is going to flip, and this will give me a -6 over here. So y is less than -6. Okay, number 7, I will get rid of the -2 by adding this time because of this plus sign separating them. So y is going to be greater than 9. Final answer.